He used to walk with her, now he walks alone. They used to marvel at the beautiful houses together, now he looks down at his feet. Each home a grain of salt in the wound, each house a reminder of what he lost. Even though it hurts, he still finds himself continuing their walks. Sometimes pain is good. He'd rather feel the pain of her passing, than not feel her at all. She's alive when he walks. She's the shadow that strolls behind. Though he can't see her, he can feel her. Her presence is like a windbreaker draped across his shoulders in an especially violent storm. The pain isn't gone, but it's bearable when he's moving. He can't speak to her, but she's there. When he trips over a root, a hand steadies him. When he veers off course, he feels a gentle nudge. And every day he ends up in front of the same house on Jackson Street. A grand home, at least at one point it must have been. The windows are boarded closed. The door is locked. Beware trespasser signs are strewn haphazardly across the tangled mess of the once impressive lawn. He feels her presence strongest here. It is almost tangible, as if she's hiding behind a thin curtain. He calls to her, yet she never answers. He reaches for her, yet he can never lay hands on her. It is here on his journey where his emotions get the best of him. Every day he comes, every day he cries. The neighbors look at him with trepidation, but long gone are his days of caring what others think. He stands there an old man, face in his hands, and weeps for the woman he lost. Let them think what they want, but his Lenore was worth every tear. He feels a tap on his shoulder, and looks up to see the front door of the house swung wide. Light is pouring out of it, and there she is, his Lenore. He rushes towards her and the gaping maw, towards the woman he's lost. The woman who heard his cries and has returned for him. As he barrels forward through the brambles and overgrown weeds, he hardly is aware of the scrapes and cuts. Nor does it bother him that he trips over a hidden bottle and goes tumbling face first in the dirt. He slings himself forward with the stamina of a much younger man. And then, he is there standing in touching distance from her. It's definitely her. She's got the same strawberry blonde hair that always tended to leave him breathless. It's wrapped in a French braid with a daisy tucked behind her left ear. She looks younger by nearly 20 years. Her nose and cheeks are dusted with a fine layer of freckles. He begins to giggle like a schoolboy as he remembers he once tried to count them. 23 is the highest he got before he found his mouth on hers. And suddenly he has an inappropriate urge to pull her close and continue the kiss in front of God and all the neighbors. Shortly before he does just that, she vanishes, leaving him standing in the front door alone once more. He looks around the hallway and notices it's fully furnished. There is no dust or decay. The parlor is in perfect condition. Even more shockingly, he hears someone playing the piano. It's for Eliza, and he could recognize that sound anywhere. Lenore was playing it the day she died. The Turkish rug leading down the hall looks familiar, the pattern of the wolf howling at the moon, the picture of the ship sailing in rough seas. He knows it. He walks forward, no longer in control over his own body. Instead, everything begins to flash in front of him like a movie. He sees his own hand reach for the gilded doorknob. He knows on the other side of this door is a set of stairs that leads to the great room. Still, he doesn't remember, he can't remember. They threaten to come back, but he doesn't let them. He doesn't want to remember. He's back. Oh God, have mercy on him, he's back to the day his wife died. He comes to this conclusion even as his own traitorous hand throws wide the hallway door. He fights for control. He does everything in his power to not see. His eyes fling wide and he looks to see the back of his sweet Lenore's head, the damned daisy still perched behind her ear. She's playing and she does. They used to walk together, marveling at the beautiful houses in the neighborhood, but now they walked alone. Each home was a reminder of what they had lost, and the pain of it was sometimes too much to bear. However, they found that continuing the walks provided some solace. They felt her presence with them on the walks, like a shadow following behind. Even though they couldn't see her, they could feel her. It was a comfort. The pain was strongest when they reached the same house on Jackson Street. The grand home had seen better days, with boarded shut windows and a locked door. "Beware trespasser" signs were strewn across the lawn, but the person felt her presence more strongly here, as if she was hiding behind a thin curtain. They called to her, but she never answered. One day, as they stood in front of the house, a tap on the shoulder made them turn around. To their surprise, the front door was open and a light was pouring out from it. The person rushed towards it, hoping to reunite with their lost love. They saw her standing there, strawberry blonde hair wrapped in a French braid, just as they remembered her. They couldn't resist the urge to kiss her, feeling like a schoolboy again. However, just as suddenly as she appeared, she vanished, leaving the person standing alone in front of the open door. They entered the house and found it fully furnished, with no signs of decay. They heard someone playing the piano and recognized the tune. It was their Lenore playing for Eliza, the piece she was playing the day she died. As they walked towards the music, memories of that awful day began to flood back. Despite their efforts to stop them, their own feet carried them forward, and they found themselves facing the man who had caused their beloved's death. Rage filled them once again, and they picked up their cavalry saber. In a fit of uncontrollable anger, they attacked the man and chopped him into kindling. They couldn't believe what they had done. As they looked around the room, they saw their beloved wife lying on the floor, dead yet still very much alive. They were filled with pity, realizing what they had done. They swung the blade up one last time, and all went black. When they came to, they were back in the vandalized great hall, with a nasty groove in the marble floor and their wife lying on the ground. They felt an overwhelming sense of grief and regret, realizing the nightmare they had just endured. I see the monstrous form of my late wife clambering to her feet, her body twisted and disfigured. Her left eye slides out of its socket, running like egg yolk down her face, and black pustule blood leaks from her wounds. Despite her grotesque appearance, she manages to speak, her voice wet and slobbering. "I will never let you forget what you did here," she says, her remaining eye locking onto mine. "Jail wasn't enough for you. You didn't stay your hand, so even in your Alzheimer's, I won't let you forget. Same time tomorrow, honey." As she speaks, I feel a shudder run through me. The memories come flooding back, and I remember the horror of what I had done. I had killed my wife in a fit of rage, and now she haunts me, a constant reminder of my terrible deeds. Despite the fear and revulsion I feel, I know that I must face her. I nod slowly, forcing myself to meet her gaze. "Same time tomorrow," I say hoarsely. "I'll be here." And with that, I turn and make my way out of the ruined great hall, haunted by the memory of what I had done, and the ghostly presence of my wife, a constant reminder of my terrible crime.